Hey guys, how you doing? So I thought I'd give you a little update on the Turkish bow from AF Archery. And first thing to say is that it's going great. I haven't done any more videos with it yet because I had some plans. Well, firstly I've been really busy, but also I'd had some plans to start doing videos about the thumb release or thumb draw, and I haven't because I had a few goes at the thumb draw. Now I have experimented years ago. I wasn't being totally truthful when I said I'd never tried it before, but I'd maybe tried it once or twice. I'd never actually tried to really properly do it. And essentially I need to sort out my setup for shooting a little bit better, because as it stands at the moment I need to make it safer before I start releasing arrows downrange with a thumb release, because it turns out I totally suck at that. It's completely different. So first of all, I'll just show you how I string this. For anyone who doesn't know, I use the traditional method, the step through. Okay, with such a short, you have to make sure it's seated. With such a short bow, it is more difficult to string. Long bow is easy compared to this. Okay, so we get into that position there, hooked in, and make sure it seats in the little pad there. Make sure it stays in at the back end as well. So there we go, strung. So what I want to say is basically I have actually been shooting with this a bunch, and it's superb. It is absolutely lovely. It's really light, really quick, really reliable, really consistent. It's a really, really good bow from AF Archery. So based on my experience so far, I would highly recommend their stuff. So that's the first thing. It's very good. Second thing is I haven't been shooting it with a thumb draw, as you may be able to tell from the glove I'm using. I've been doing it with a traditional so-called Mediterranean release or three-finger draw. Now, this is what I'm used to. Obviously, that's what I've done for years. But one thing that I have to say, so I have to go back on something I've said in a number of previous videos, including years ago, even when I started doing the channel. I made a point about the three-finger release or even two-finger release not being practical with very short bows. Well, this isn't the shortest Turkish bow around, but it's a pretty short bow. And what I've discovered is there's no real problem using a three-finger release with the Turkish bow. I've been happily shooting for hours with a three-finger draw with this length bow, and there's no issue, basically. No problem. So you would have thought that with the more acute angle of the bowstring, it would mash your fingers together, squish your fingers together. And it may be that with higher draw weights, this is only 55 pounds at 28 inches draw, and I'm drawing to about 32, so it's somewhere in the probably mid 60s draw weight. If you were drawing a 100-pound draw weight, then it might be that your fingers would get mashed and that wouldn't be practical. But certainly with this type of recreational sort of target weight bow, there's no issue whatsoever to shooting with a Mediterranean release. So that's what I've been doing, because that's what I'm used to doing. It's what I'm more safe and reliable and accurate with. The thumb draw is going to take some time, so I think I'm going to practice quite a bit off camera before I do anything on camera, because frankly it would be embarrassing if I went onto camera now with a thumb release, because whilst I can do it, I can't hit anything with it at the moment. It's a very different way of aiming with the arrow on the other side of the bow, and it's just very, very different. I'm finding that my shots are all going to the right, so you know, you can compensate of course by just aiming to the left, but I don't feel that's necessarily a reliable way for me to aim. So I need to work out where my sort of point of aim, how to aim, basically how to shoot instinctively with that type of release, because I shoot instinctively with a three-finger release. I don't aim as such, not most of the time anyway, but obviously for years of doing that, that's the instinctive method of shooting that I've got, is with the three-finger draw. I come up to here and I know which direction the arrow is going to go, whereas that's not the case now with the thumb release. So there we go, AF Archery, really, really nice bow. I love shooting this bow. It's super, super quick, super light. I love how little and maneuverable it is. It shoots really sweetly, really crisply, very fast. No durability issues so far. but I'm not using the thumb release, I'm using the 3-finger release for now, because that's what I'm familiar with. So there we go, but there are going to be more archery videos soon, and I have been experimenting as well. I've bought a few cheap arrows, essentially kind of like recreational family use arrows to just blast down the garden at the target, and they're pretty good, so I'll do an update on those. I'll be doing a review on those as well soon. So there we go. I thought you'd like to see this, and also to know a behind the scenes, as it were, not off the public channel confession about the fact that I'm not ready to be doing videos about thumb release yet, because I need to watch more videos of other people doing it, and I need to practice it. That's the most important part. I need to practice it myself a lot more before I go on camera doing that. Anyway, great little bow, and I'll see you again soon for the next Patreon video, of course, but also on the public channel as well. Thanks a lot. Oh, one final thing before I go. Again, the video that I'm working on about the Game of Thrones, the Lord of the Rings weapons, 5 worst weapons in Game of Thrones. I am doing that, but I changed what I was doing halfway through, so I've kind of got knocked back on that. But it is coming, and once again, thanks for all of your feedback that came through when I was asking about suggestions for that video. That is coming. You haven't been forgotten. Thank you very much for watching. See you again soon. Cheers.